My fingers trembled over the DNA paternity test in my pocket, the truth smoldering like embers as I stood beneath the shadow of the Bennett estate. My father, Charles Bennett's contempt lashed at my soul like a whip. The Bentley I gifted him, my life savings, and all my sacrifices meant nothing. His love was reserved for my siblings, never for me. Before we dive deep into this dramatic story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming tales. And leave a comment to let us know where you're watching from. My name is Clara Bennett, and I am 35 years old. I have a career in finance that shines like a polished blade, but my heart hurts because of my father's unwavering disdain. The annual Bennett family reunion is approaching, a ritual I dread. And this year it is heavier because I am holding a desperate hope, a sleek obsidian Bentley Continental GT that I bought with my life savings as a peace offering to win my father's approval, Charles Bennett. As I get ready, my fingers shake over a sealed envelope in my purse, a genetic test result that whispers secrets I cannot yet face. Tonight at our luxurious Boston estate, this document will reveal the truth about my father's coldness, bringing me into a storm of betrayal and revelation. My story starts here, a tale of longing, deceit, and a daughter's struggle to prove herself. The facade of our family in Newton, a wealthy suburb of Boston, sparkles like a chandelier to onlookers, but within its walls, a chill seeps through the marble. My father, Charles Bennett, built his real estate empire from humble beginnings into a billion-dollar titan. His values, success, prestige, and power trumping all else, even the warmth of family. From my earliest memories, he was not the father who cheered at recitals or bandaged scraped knees or praised my B-plus report cards, my second-place debate trophies, and my every effort dismissed as not enough. His mother, Eleanor, was his mirror, opposite her laughter, a soft glow when he was around, her eyes darting to him for permission to speak, her silence, a shield when his criticisms cut deep. This dynamic, a puzzle I only later realized, cast her as his shadow, her love for us muted by his dominion. My younger sister, Lila, was 3 years behind me, but she had a quiet charm, her ability to read father's moods being a survival art. She wasn't a prodigy like Nathan, but her role as a family peacemaker was a balm after his tirades, and my accomplishments valedictorian. A full scholarship to Yale, a meteoric rise at Morgan Stanley were tainted by his skepticism, and my choices were a rebellion against his legacy. My older brother Nathan was the heir apparent. His football stardom, his Ivy League degree, and his smooth entry into father's firm earned him a crown I could never touch. The Bentley was my extravagant gesture, a $300,000 gamble that resulted from a promotion to Chief Investment Officer, the youngest in the history of my company. Its leather interior, gleaming chrome, and purring engine were father's dream glimpsed at a colleague's gala. In my heart, this car was not metal, but a plea, a child's cry for love dressed in luxury. The reunion, which was always held close to Father's Day, doubled as a stage for Charles's glory. And this year, I planned to unveil the car, imagining his eyes softening and his voice warm with praise. However, as the date drew near, my nights became more restless, my days spent searching boutiques for a burgundy dress, elegant, professional, a shield against his judgment. My world was shattered 3 months ago when a casual DNA test to trace my heritage revealed that I was not Charles Bennett's daughter. This information explained his lifelong coldness, the subtle differences between my auburn hair and green eyes, and how they differed from Nathan's and Lila's. I obtained a definitive test using father's comb from a visit home, and the sealed envelope now burns in my purse. I'm afraid to wield its truth. It explains his distance and the outsider's ache I've carried, but I hesitate, unsure if I can handle the fallout. The car, the test, the reunion. They all come together like rivers into a tempest, my heart racing as I get ready to face a past that could shatter me. I time my arrival for mid-afternoon, the day before the reunion, and when Mother is at her book club wanting a private moment with Father, he answers the door with a sharply tailored blazer and a furrowed brow. "Clara, you're early. The dinner's tomorrow," he says in a clipped tone as if I've broken a deal. I swallow, my pulse pounding. "I brought your Father's Day gift, Dad. Can we step outside?" When I give him a velvet box with a Bentley key glistening inside, his eyes enlarge and his mask breaks in a moment of amazement. "What is this?" he murmurs as he follows me to the window overlooking the car's gleaming driveway. "This is extravagant, Clara. Why?" he asks, circling it with a keen eye like evaluating a property. His voice is cold and suspicious, so I fake a smile and say, "My promotion came with a bonus. I wanted to honor you." Guillaume, he tests the door, checks the inside, and then drives it for a short while, saying only, "The suspension's stiff." He parks it in the garage out of sight and says, "You must be flushed to spend like this." The dismissal hurts, and my vision of an embrace is dashed as I drive to my hotel. I call my friend Maya. "He didn't care, Maya. It's never enough." And she says in angry, "Take the car back, Clara. He doesn't deserve it." But I hold on to hope, the envelope in my purse, a secret I promised to keep for now. I lie awake that night, the shadow of the reunion looming, father's coldness, Nathan's ease, Lila's diplomacy, and mother's silence. They swirl like ghosts, the DNA test whispering he knew he always knew, and his rejection was not my fault, but the child in me longs, thinking the dinner might change the tide. I practice my entrance, my smile, and my answers to the inevitable questions. My career, my defiance of father's path, my single status, my career, the Bentley, and my offering, which feels pointless. But I decide to face the night, not realizing that by the end of it, the envelope's truth will light a fire that will reshape my soul. The morning of the Bennett family reunion is bright with sunlight filtering through the curtains of my hotel room, like threads of brittle hope. But my heart thunders like a drum of dread as I clutch the sealed envelope in my purse. Its DNA test, a silent storm threatening to shatter the fragile peace I've built. Charles Bennett's cold dismissal of the Bentley, my heart's offering, stings like a fresh wound. His words, "You must be flushed to spend like this," a blade that goes deeper than I anticipated. I dress in my burgundy gown, its fabric a silent armor, and my reflection in the mirror is a warrior's mask, concealing the child who still longs for her father's nod. My spirit, like a river seeking its course, surges toward the estate, ready to face the dance of family masks tonight, not realizing that the truth in my purse will ignite a fire no one can put out. My chest tightens, a storm brewing, but I smooth my dress, check my lipstick, and step toward the grand doors. My stride a practiced dance of boardroom confidence. Mother greets me, her embrace warm, her whisper, "You're radiant, Clara." A fleeting light before she adds, "Your father's in the garden with the Harlow group," her tone a warning, like signaling a hawk's shadow as I drive the long way to Newton. My knuckles pale on the wheel as I practice my poise, my answers to the inevitable probes, my career, my single life, my defiance of father's real estate empire. The estate looms, its maple-lined drive crowded with gleaming cars, a parade of wealth that masks the fractures within. The foyer hums with family members and father's carefully chosen allies, creating a theater of smiles and air kisses. Aunt Margaret, mother's sister, interrupts with questions about my love life that are as sharp as thorns, while Uncle Thomas claps my shoulder and says, "Our Wall Street star." His boom puts father's wrath at risk, and cousins and family friends swirl their conversation, a familiar script. But I feel the weight of the envelope, its truth, a pulse in my veins. Father comes in from the garden, laughing loudly with his business associates, his eyes scanning the room, nodding to distant relatives. His gaze grazing me with a flicker of recognition, his lips tightening before he turns to mother, murmuring no warmth for me, the daughter who gave him a car worth a fortune. I pretend to be interested in Cousin Emily's law school stories, but the sting of his dismissal burns a coal in my chest. Mother returns with a gentle touch, saying, "Clara, your father mentioned the car. Such a generous gift," her eyes full of gratitude and concern. "Come meet the Carlsons. They're back from Tokyo, eager for your insights." Her role as a buffer is evident as she weaves me into the crowd to protect me from father's cold. Nathan arrives as usual late with his wife Claire and their perfect twins in tow. Father's embrace gives Nathan a warmth I've never experienced before, and Nathan smiles, saying, "Dad, that Bentley's a beast. When did you upgrade?" Father claps his shoulder, saying, "A man earns his rewards, son. wiping off my sacrifice. A knife twists, causing my breath to catch, but Lila stops and gives me a tight hug. Your promotion's historic, Clara. She murmurs, using her childhood nickname, C, as a balm. But Father's stealing of my gesture feeds a silent wrath. As appetizers slide by on silver trays, I watch Father lead his associates to the drive, pointing to the Bentley, his face glowing with pride that he never showed me. Lila whispers, "He's paraded it all morning. Mother said you bought it." "That's huge, see?" I drink wine, my voice low. I wanted him to see me, just once. Lila's eyes soften. "It's not pathetic, it's human." "But Father, he's a locked vault, especially with you." Her words pierce a truth I've avoided. The envelope in my purse is a smoldering flame. I overhear Father through the bay window. "When you build an empire, you deserve these luxuries," claiming my gift as his victory. "Clara, Mother says you've been asking odd questions about her past." "What's this about?" Nathan said, glaring at me as he cornered me in the hallway. I steady my voice and respond. "I'm just curious about her life before we came into it. Women like her had few choices." He studies me, his likeness to Father a cruel mirror, and says, "Don't stir trouble, Clara. We've got balance here. Don't break it." His tone echoes Father's, a guardian of the family's order. My DNA questions and subtle probes about Mother's college years have reached him. "Or a cage in which you alone are the star," I respond, and Emily cuts in, seeing the tension. "Dinner is starting. Aunt Eleanor needs you both." Nathan smiles back. "Just business talk, nothing serious." But his warning lingers like a storm's edge. Mother's crystal and calligraphy place cards assign my spot far from Father, between Emily's quiet husband Mark and a young associate, safely away from influence. Nathan and his family bask near Father. Lila and her spouse buffer the inner circle. Mother sits opposite her role, a silent bridge across the expanse of the table. Father rises, wine glass aloft, his voice commanding, "Welcome to our reunion, a testament to the Bennett legacy." He praises Nathan's latest deal and Lila's charitable endeavors, his gaze slipping past me, a purposeful void. I feel my heart tighten. "Clara, your firm's domestic focus seems narrow. Global markets are the future. No?" Father asks as the first dish scallops as delicate as moonlight is served. I respond, "Our international arm adopted my risk model, yielding 32% returns last quarter." Mark nods, but Father dismisses it, saying, "Paper gains, wait for the crash." He turns to Nathan's condo project and says, "Real assets endure." My corrections. My blind pitch for the Larson account, no family ties, fall flat. Lila's look is hurt, and the dance of dismissal is familiar. As soup is served, I hear Father in his study door ajar, bragging to a rival, the Bentley. I freeze, my gift vanished, my rage, a wildfire prepared to destroy the falsehoods that link us. My reward for building this empire. I say. The Bennett reunion dinner unfolds like a storm, building in intensity, with each course pushing me closer to the edge of a precipice. My heart, a drum resonating with anger and sorrow, is pounding as I hold onto my wine glass, the sealed envelope in my purse, a smoldering ember, its DNA test, a thunderbolt I both dread and want to throw. Charles Bennett's voice, sharp as a hawk's cry, slices through the dining room. His praise for Nathan and Lila, a glittering crown I'll never wear. While his jabs at me, my career, my choices, sting like nettles. The Bentley, my gift of love, now shines outside as his trophy, my sacrifice erased. As the main course, a lavish beef Wellington, arrives, I feel the weight of 35 years of rejection. My spirit raging against stone, ready to break free. Not realizing that tonight the truth I carry will ignite a wildfire, reshaping the family's fragile mask. As the meal goes on, Father loses control and asks me more daring questions, such as, "Clara, still no husband?" His smile is like a coyote's when he says, "New York men must find your ambition daunting." Mrs. Harlow, the wife of a business ally, offers kindly, "A woman like you, so accomplished, must have suitors lining up." Before I can deflect, Father interrupts, saying, "Clara's always chased titles over family. Some women understand sacrifice better." His words disguised as humor land like arrows, implying that my success is a hollow shield for personal failure. Mother gasps softly, "Charles." But he continues, "If she'd valued the matches I offered, she wouldn't face her 30s alone." The table falls silent, guests shifting their eyes, darting between pity and unease. My face burns a child's desire to run away from a woman forged in boardrooms. I drink water, my hands steady, and I say, "I prioritize results, Father, as you taught." My firm's 32% returns speak for themselves. My tone is light, but the air crackles. Lila's eyes are sorrowful, and Nathan nods smugly. The dessert course, a delicate pavlova, provides a brief respite, but Father's bourbon, now in his hand, loosens his tongue, and he leans back, signaling his ritual speech, the room hushing as if under a spell. "Family." He begins, his voice a polished blade, built on vision, loyalty, and those who know their place. He toasts Nathan's bold ventures and Lila's graceful service, their names gilded, while mine is a void, a purposeful wound. Then, with a predator's gleam, he looks at me and says, "Success varies," pausing for effect. Some chase paper triumphs fleeting as wind. True strength lies in family and legacy, not in proving oneself at our expense. The ambiguous, "some fools," no one his target clear, but Mother's face pales, her napkin twisted. Nathan smirks. Lila's hand grazes mine beneath the table. The room spins, decades of slights flashing my math award, dismissed my Yale degree, belittled my promotions, mocked the envelope, pulses its truth, a sacred fire, no longer a secret, but a weapon. I stand unbidden, my movement silencing the room, every eye turning a mixture of curiosity and fear. "Thank you, Father, for your clarity." I start, my voice a river, serene but unstoppable. "For 35 years, I've sought your approval, twisting myself to meet standards that shifted like sand. Tonight, I see why." Mother's eyes widen, and Father's narrow, sensing a change. "I graduated from Yale first in my class, built a career without your name, and became the youngest chief investment officer at Morgan Stanley. Yet I am the loser at this table." I pause, meeting Nathan's, Lila's, and the guests' gazes. "Success in your world, Father, is an achievement. It's mirroring you, reflecting your glory. I bought you a Bentley not for need, but to bridge a chasm I never caused," I say. The weight of the envelope feels like a stone as I reach for my purse. I blame myself for your coldness, thinking I failed, but the failure wasn't mine. I place the envelope on the table, its presence a thunderclap. "This DNA test proves you're not my father. You knew you always knew, and you punished me for it." The room gasps. Mother's hand flies to her mouth. Nathan stiffens, and Father's face drains. "Happy Father's Day," I say, the title dripping with irony. I turn my head high and leave the dining room, the silence behind me, breaking into chaos. Voices break out, questions, murmurs, a chair scraping. I arrive at the foyer, the cool air a balm my spirit, a river breaking its banks. The Bentley shines outside under lanterns, a reminder of my fruitless search. My hand finds the spare key fob, and the car unlocks with a gentle chirp. I slide inside, the smell of leather blending with Father's cologne, a fading trace of his theft. Through the window, silhouettes gather at the dining room, making wild gestures. The drama I've unleashed is a storm. The engine purrs, the dashboard glows, and I reverse, catching Father's figure in the doorway. The envelope clutched his mouth open in a silent roar. I accelerate the estate, shrinking in the rear view, my gift returned, my heart aflame, unbound by his lies. The highway is a holy road as I drive toward Boston, and my phone is blazing with calls from Lily and Nathan and cousins. I silence them because I need this moment to be pure. Now liberated, the truth in the envelope acts as a wing, lifting me out of decades of shame. Father's empire and legacy fade away, their hold on me eroding. My spirit, like a river unbound, flows toward a horizon I'll shape. The child's cry for love is now a woman's promise to claim her own. As I get closer to the city, Lila's text glows. "Where are you?" "Are you all right?" I don't respond yet. My heart pounding for a day when my value will be recognized without being overshadowed by his contempt. As I weave through the city, the Boston skyline rises like a constellation of steel and glass. Its lights reflecting on the Charles River, and the Bentley's hum is a steady chant beneath my racing heart. The envelope's truth now unleashed burns like a sacred fire. Its revelation that Charles Bennett is not my father. A thunderclap still echoing through my soul and my spirit like a river breaking free from stone. Surges with both liberation and grief. The weight of 35 years of rejection lifting, but leaving scars that ache in the quiet. I check into a hotel downtown, my phone glowing with missed calls, Lila's worry, Nathan's rage, cousin's confusion. But I silence them because I want solitude to hold this newborn freedom. I stand at the window overlooking the harbor, unaware that the storm I've started will soon demand answers, drawing me into a deeper dance with the past. When I kick off my heels, the burgundy dress pools on the floor like shed skin. The hotel room is a haven, its muted tones a gentle embrace. I see a stranger in the mirror, a woman who has not bowed her eyes, fierce with resolve, but shadowed by loss. I go over the texts, Lila's first one being, "See, where are you? Are you secure?" Mother's voice messages go from composed to broken. "Clara, call me please. The test, it can't be right." Her final plea cracking, "Come home, let's talk as a family." The word family twists a knot of love and betrayal, and I don't respond, my heart a drum, needing time to sort the ashes of this night. Her worry is a root grounding me. Nathan's messages are sharp. "Return the car, Clara. You've gone too far." His loyalty to father stings, a reminder of the hierarchy I've shattered. I can't sleep. The lights in the harbor dance restlessly, and I relive the dinner, father's mean toast. My position, the falling package. The fact that he knew I wasn't his and punished me for it, which explains his coldness and the pain of the outsider I bore. But it also reveals wounds. Why didn't mother say anything? What was the secret that made her tell this lie? Lila phones and I answer her hushed voice as she says, "See, it's chaos here. Father read the test aloud, then stormed after you. Mother locked herself away. Where are you?" I order coffee at daybreak, its bitterness reflecting my feelings. Boston safe. I needed space. I sigh. The test? Is it true? She pauses. A warm heat cracks my armor as I say, "Yes, Charles isn't my father. I think he always knew." And Lila's quiet is heavy. "I'm so sorry, C. I saw how he treated you, but I never understood why. I love you no matter what," she says. "Mother. How is she?" I inquire. I laugh. "The car's the least of it," Lila says softly. "See, father's unraveling. I've never seen him like this. What's next broken?" She won't speak. Not even to Nathan. "Guests fled after you left. Father's been on calls, probably damage control, and Nathan's ranting about legal action over the Bentley." I look at the harbor and say, "I don't know, Lila, but I can't go back to pretending." We hang up her love on a tether, but the road ahead is a trail covered in mist. In the middle of the morning, Mother texts me with a message that pierces. "I never meant for you to learn this way. It wasn't an affair. There was someone before Charles. He married me to give you his name. Please meet me. I owe you the truth." Her words confirm my suspicions, but they also create a storm, love, treachery, sacrifice, all tangled. I consent to meet Mother at a quiet cafe in Back Bay, away from Newton's shadow. She shows up with her face bare of the Bennett matriarch's polish and her eyes unpolished. "Clara," she says, her voice a quivering reed. His name was Daniel Harper. We met at Wellesley. He was at MIT, an engineering student, kind, brilliant. But my parents forbade us. They pushed Charles the right match. Her story unfolds a broken love, a pregnancy found after Daniel's departure. Charles's proposal, a mixture of ambition and affection. He promised to raise you as his, but your eyes, your spirit, they were Daniel's. It haunted him. I listen, my heart pounding, and I get angry. You gave me the impression that I was the failure since you witnessed his nastiness and his comparisons. Mother's face crumples as she says, "I failed you, Clara. I thought silence preserved our family. I told myself you were strong, that you'd rise above his rejection. I was wrong." Her confession is raw as an open wound evokes sympathy, but my pain speaks louder. Your silence was a cage, Mother. I spent my life chasing his love, not knowing it was impossible. She reaches for my hand, but I pull away, saying, I need time. As I leave, my sobs echo, and the cafe's warmth fades as I enter the city. Daniel Harper, my biological father, is a seed, its roots unknown, but its presence shifts my ground. Back at the hotel, I look up Daniel Harper. He's an engineer from California, the founder of a tech company, married and has 3 kids, my half-siblings. His LinkedIn photo shows eyes like mine and a quiet smile. I draft an email, my fingers shaking. I'm Clara Bennett, and I recently learned you may be my biological father. I'd like to connect if you're open, but I hesitate and send it, my heart aflame, casting light into shadows. Nathan's lawyer emails demanding the Bentley's return, citing defamation over the test. I laugh bitterly, telling my lawyer to arrange for the car's return, the gesture now a shackle I shed. My phone buzzes with work. A client needs my risk model explained their trust in me. A steady route reminding me my worth lies beyond father's contempt. I walk the harbor that night, the ripple of the water, a mirror to my thoughts. The Bentley. The test. The confrontation. They've broken the chains of Charles's empire, but the price is a broken family. Mother's truth, Lila's love, Nathan's rage. They swirl like leaves in a storm. Daniel Harper's existence is a new horizon. But I tread carefully, my spirit a river, learning its strength. I text Lila, I'm okay. I talk to Mother, need time. Her response, love you. See, always is a star in the dark. As I make my way back to my room, my heart beats steadily, a drum for a future I'll create free from a father's lies, prepared to face the echoes of truth that call me forward. As I stand at my hotel window, coffee in my hands, its warmth a silent ally against the storm of truths, now settling in my bones. The realization that Charles Bennett is not my father has burned away the chains of his scorn. But the ripples of that night at the Bennett estate still pulse, a drum of change echoing through my heart. Lila's love, Mother's confession, Nathan's wrath, and the shadow of Daniel Harper, my biological father, dance like embers in my mind. My path, once a desperate attempt to get Charles's nod, now stretches toward a horizon I'll shape, a sacred fire kindled within. As I enter this new dawn, oblivious to the bridges and battles that lie ahead, I promise to guard my dreams. My wings unbound, ready to soar beyond the shadows of a family's lies. Days turn into weeks, each a stone in a new foundation. I return to New York, my Manhattan apartment. A lodge reclaimed, its skyline view a canvas of possibilities. Work keeps me afloat, and my boss says, Clara, your approach is groundbreaking. Her voice free of the conditions Charles imposed. I nod, my heart transformed into a flame that no longer requires his approval to shine. Therapy turns into a ritual, a quiet hearth where I untangle the grief of a father's rejection and the betrayal of mother's silence. While some sessions are clear and my voice is strong, others are shadowed. Tears fall for the child pleading for love, and I realize that my value is already burning, not a prize to be won. In a careful email that makes me tense, Daniel Harper responds, Clara, your message was unexpected, but I'd want to meet. I'll be in New York next month for coffee, if you're ready. He calls once, his voice cold. You've shamed our name, Clara. Retract your lies. I laugh softly. The DNA speaks. Charles, I'm done with your cage. His silence is a victory. His empire is no longer my prison. His tone is respectful, untarnished by the Bennett legacy, a breeze lifting my wings, and I respond, agreeing to meet, my spirit a river testing new currents. Nathan's silence grows, and my attorney acts quickly to meet his lawyer's demands for the Bentley's return. I nod cautiously and say, It'll take time, Mother, but I'm here. Our bond, as fragile as new shoots, takes root, a promise of healing. Lila calls every day, her laughter a chant. See, you're free. What's next? Mother visits, her face softer, her matriarch's mask shed. We walk in Central Park, autumn leaves a fiery carpet. Clara, I'm rebuilding myself, she says, her voice a trembling reed. I lived for Charles's approval like you. I see now how it broke us. With my heart pounding like a drum for unrestricted dreams, I declare, I'm finding my path, guided by her love like a steady star. Daniel Harper and I meet in a quiet restaurant near Central Park. His eyes, my eyes meet mine, a mirror of curiosity and care. Clara, he says, his voice warm. You're a surprise, but a welcome one. We talk for hours, his engineering stories echoing my analytical mind, his humor a spark I recognize. But that fire, when you speak of markets, that's us. No father-daughter bond forms immediately, but a connection free from Charles's shadow is established. I tell him about the Bentley, the test, and the reunion's fire. He listens, his gaze steady, and he says, You're brave, Clara. You've built a life despite him. His words, unburdened by expectations, are a balm. My spirit is a river flowing toward new kin. Thanksgiving approaches, and Lila extends an invitation to her home, which is a warm hearth. Charles declines, refusing to face me, but his absence is a relief rather than a wound. We all sit around a table. Mother, her husband, their kids, and I, and Lila raises a glass and says, To see who broke the chains. Mother's eyes sparkle. I'm proud of you, Clara, not for your titles, but for your heart. Her words without conditions heal scars I thought would never go away. The meal is simple, but rich, a ceremony of chosen family. My spirit is a flame, no longer seeking Charles's light. Later, I Skype Daniel, his family, waving my half-siblings, a distant but growing thread. Months go by, my career takes off, and I read a Forbes article calling me a trailblazer in finance. I smile, not for Charles's ghost, but for the woman I've become. Therapy reveals that my accomplishments were once weapons, but now they're gifts, and my love of markets is a fire I tend for joy. Once a week, my mother and I meet, and our conversations unravel layers of pain while her stories of her youth, Daniel, her dreams, draw us closer. Charles fades, his calls go unanswered, and his empire is a faraway storm. Nathan reaches out, his tone grudging. You hurt Dad, Clara, but I saw your Forbes piece. It's impressive. I respond neutrally. Thanks, Nathan. I'm living my truth. I stand on my balcony a year after the reunion, the city's pulse a drum with mine. Daniel comes to visit, our bond grows as kids. My siblings, pen pals, send drawings, their innocence, a new route. Lila's family expands, and her second child, Clara, is an honor that humbles me. Mother writes a memoir, her draft raw, her courage a mirror to mine. The Bennett estate, once my cage, is now a memory, its hold broken. My spirit, a river unbound, has carved a path through stone, and I ask myself, and you? What dream will you guard when shadows try to bind your wings? My path has shown me that truth can shatter falsehoods, that chosen family outshines blood, and that dreams as precious as stars are yours to claim. Share your fire below and let it ignite another's. Maybe you too have experienced the pain of being betrayed by the very family you needed most. Have you ever discovered a strength within yourself you never knew existed, right in the middle of heartbreak? If you carry a story like that, I invite you to share it in the comments below. If this journey of healing and justice resonates with you, please hit that subscribe button. And like this video, your support helps me continue sharing these difficult but important stories that deserve to be heard. And remember, family isn't just defined by bloodlines or legal documents, but by love, respect, and hearts that choose to stand by each other. Thank you for walking with me through this chapter of my life. I wish you the strength to face whatever storms life may send your way.